that. Should just be ready to go. Go live on Instagram too. Okay, that. Oops, here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and we have one person in the waiting room. Let me go ahead and let him in. We are live on YouTube. Hey, Ever.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Alexi. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm great, thank you. Just trying to set up this tripod. How's the frame?
It's good. Looking
Okay,
good.
beautiful.
Ever, this
Awesome,
is
awesome.
Ali. Ali, this is Ever. He's one of our VIPs. He's out in Toronto.
Hello, Ali. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Am I the only one here? I'm sorry, I'm using my phone now. I'm not able to see.
Oh, yeah. Well, yes, you are the only one here so far. I'm gonna
Okay,
make sure that the VIPs have the link really quickly.
awesome.
And we'll probably, because this is our first event back, we'll probably see people flow in late, especially Saturday. You know how it is Ever.
Absolutely. That's actually something that I noticed because I ended up going also through the Eventbrite. I wasn't able to get the link on the Eventbrite because it kind of bounced me out. So I had to go to the Finesse Media website and join in through there.
Oh no, shoot. Let me okay, hold on
Yeah.
1 second. I was wondering, I was like, where is everyone? Okay, that is why. Oh my goodness. Of course we would have a technical difficulty.
Yeah.
So the Eventbrite didn't allow you to connect at all?
No, exactly. So when I click on join the link or the meeting, it would take me back to the original page of the ad.
Oh my
So it was kind of
goodness.
like a loop system, yeah. But
Okay.
yeah, nice to meet you, Ali, by the way.
Good to meet you too. I'm excited for today.
Great. Absolutely, I am too.
My bad, Ali. I was wondering, I was like, where is everyone? So strange. Let me.
It's
All
all
right.
good. It's probably the curse of me being an audio engineer. Yeah. Troubleshoot,
Okay.
troubleshoot, troubleshoot.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Hold on, everybody. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to uh email everybody the link. Ugh. Okay. Keep.
Anything I can do in my side, I can copy the link onto the group chat.
Yeah, could you do that?
Yes, I'm
That would
on
be
it
very
right now.
helpful. And to the folks who are on a Zoom or on Instagram Live, if you can hear me, I am working on getting this link out to all of you. Give me just 1 second. I don't know why it's not allowing me to log in. Okay, 1 second, y'all. Okay, working on this. Here, let me go to link. No, that's not working either. Alrighty, link another provider. Okay, to everyone who is on Instagram Live waiting for us to do this, I am adding the link to the Eventbrite so y'all can join. Okay, so to everybody, I'm gonna switch this over so they can see me. Hi, everybody on Instagram. We are live and we are going on Zoom, but it seems like everyone was having some issues with the Eventbrite and Zoom link. So if you are trying to join and you're unable to, go into the Eventbrite now and you should be able to access the link there. So I will see you all in a second. I'm going to put this around.
Post it.
Okay. So there we go. All right, here we go. Finally, some people are able to join. I was wondering, I knew something was going to go wrong today. I was like, it's bound to happen. not wrong, just needed to be edited. Okay, here we go. Yay, we see people.
Yes, let's go team.
Yeah.
Myself.
Hey everybody, thank you Ever for sharing the link to everyone too. Hi everyone, welcome in. Hello, hello. Hey Larry.
Oh my God, just like fighting with everything.
Long time no see.
Oh yeah.
All right, we are going live. Let me see if I can let some more people in here. Larry, hello, hello. Hi, Ruth. Hi, Marcus, Chris, Riza. Hi, Lily. Hey, everybody. So to everybody, I still see some folks asking some questions in the Instagram. If you're still unable to join, you can get on the Eventbrite. Okay, here we go. Cool. So we should have a good group of people today. I'm thinking as long as everyone can get on today, we should have at least 30 or so folks. I'm really excited to be relaunching our event series. I'm Alexi. For those of you who don't know me, I think I know most of you all. If I haven't met you, then I'm the CEO and founder of Finessed Media, and I have been running these events for the last 4 years. So we're really excited to be joined by all of you, because not only has it been an incredible 4 years, but we've also got just an amazing speaker today, Ali, who I will announce more about in a little bit. But in the meantime, feel free to drop your names and say hello to everyone in the chat. I actually have a contact sheet that I'm going to share for all of you if you all want to drop your information here. But I'd love to go around the room and have some folks introduce themselves and say hello. So if anyone wants to say hi, give us your name, where you're from, and one thing that you're grateful for today. So would anyone like to start us off? Ever, I'm going to call you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ever. I'm a producer, audio engineer, artist, make Latin music, but I'm based in Toronto. And I am grateful for my health today. Absolutely.
Nice. Cool. Hi, Julie. I'm going to call on you next. Long time no see.
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Julie. I live here in South Florida. I'm a marketing manager, and I'm grateful for waking up this Saturday morning and being able to attend this event. I've been really looking forward to it, so I'm happy I could be here.
Yay. Julie was a part of our internship cohort when we first started. So Julie has been an OG Finessed Media fan person. Cool. Julie, it's so good to see you. I'm so happy I got to see you a few weeks ago. Also, I strongly encourage everyone to turn their cameras on if you're able to. I know it's early on a Saturday morning for some of you, but if you are able to turn your camera on, it's a really great way to connect with others through the music industry by allowing folks to see your face. Since we're unable to all be in the same room together physically, at least you get an opportunity to connect face-to-face virtually. Chris, I see you. How's it going?
Hello. Good.
Are you about to play us something?
And I'm just getting some practice in right now.
Nice.
Figured I'd get one of the instruments in my hand.
Nice. Can you tell us where you're from and what you're grateful for today?
Yeah, so Chris Wick Jones, same. I am from Denver, Colorado, and I'm grateful for life, grateful for health and, community.
Nice. Cool. Chris is a really talented producer, engineer out in, where are you? Where did I see you?
Denver.
Yes,
Yep,
Denver.
Yep.
And we got to connect out in Denver a couple months ago, and he is just an incredible person. So, Chris, I'm so happy to see you again.
Always happy to be here.
Cool. Izzy, how's it going, Izzy?
Hi, how's it going?
Oh, you have food in your mouth. Let me give you a second to finish your food.
I'm good.
You're good? Where are you from and what are you grateful for today?
Well, My name is Izzy Vega. I'm from the Washington, D.C. area, and I'm grateful to be on this call.
Nice. Cool. Izzy, you've been on a call with us before, or a couple calls, right?
Yeah, a few, and then I think my life just got busy, so had to
It's
hide
okay.
it.
Ours too. Everybody's. So it's all good. We're happy to have you back.
Happy to be back.
Awesome. If anyone else would like to introduce themselves, feel free to raise your hand. You can raise your hand on camera, or you're welcome to raise your hand with the feature. Gregory Kingston, I see you. Go ahead.
Hey, how's it going? Nice to be
Good.
back.
Nice to see you.
Wanted to say hi to everyone. I'm Kingston, and I'm a singer-songwriter out of LA. And I'm stoked that these Saturday calls are back. So looking forward to it. I might have to get out for this one early. Got a meeting in a little bit, but good to see you, Alexi, and others. I just joined the call, so I'll stop rambling on and enjoy Saturday.
Cool. Kingston, I've missed you. I missed your smiling face every Saturday. Cool. Jay, how's it going, Jay? Nice to see you on here.
Hey, hello, everybody. I'm Jay Lawrence, and I'm here in the busy city of Nashville. Good to be here with you all and with y'all creatives. I'm a A&R director for Universal Music Group here in Nashville, and I also am one of the fighters out here for music and mental health. So I'm just glad to be here, and it's my first time in this. So good to meet you all.
Jay is also an incredible Jay. I was doing some research on you. He's an incredible music executive who's got a ton of experience, provides a lot of value and education to creatives in the music industry.
I love it. I love it. Y'all keep going, keep pushing, and do what you do. You got that creative and you got that gift for a reason, and keep using it no matter your age or what you got going on. Y'all keep going and keep pushing.
Jay,
Good morning, you all.
You're going to be on one of our panels next.
Love it. Let's do it.
Cool. Thanks for coming, Jay. Larry, I'm going to pick on you.
Hey, I'm Larry. I am about an hour from Austin, Texas. And so just want to say good morning, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here with everybody. So, yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Larry.
Yeah.
Roommate, you're up.
What's up, y'all? I go by John. My name is John. I go by Love Me Roommate. I'm an artist from down in California. It's like South LA. And I'm grateful for just kind of like the opportunity just to be around like so many artists. It's for my day-to-day. It's a different field, so it's cool just to be around other artists. And just excited to learn. Alexi, these are great. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm happy to see you on our call today. I was hoping that you would show up. I've been seeing you on my Instagram a lot, so.
Yes.
Cool. Awesome. Well, anyone else want to introduce themselves before we go ahead and get started? Speak now, forever hold your peace.
I can say hi. Hello. Yeah, my name is Lily, but my artist name is Elsie. And yeah, I was going to these in the very beginning, so it's fun. Can't believe it's been 4 years. But yeah, really great to meet all of you. I am an artist, singer-songwriter, and producer. I'm out in LA, so it's like 9 a.m. here. And I'm grateful. Actually, I got to play a show yesterday for the first time in a little while. So yeah. So yeah, just grateful to be able to do that. And yeah, good to see you.
I missed you, Lily, and I'm so sorry I forgot to call you, but I will call you. Cool. Well, it seems like we are ready to get started. So I do see some new faces. If I haven't gotten to you, or new and old faces. So if I haven't gotten to you, we'll have opportunities to introduce ourselves a little bit more later on in the meeting. But I do see some folks like Chills. I see SL Feemster. How's it going? Lori, Root. Sam. It's so great to have all of you on today. And I apologize for the technical difficulties, but I'm glad that everybody was able to hop on. So I am Alexi. Again, I'm the CEO and founder of Finessed Media, and I will be hosting your event today. And then we are going to be talking about music and mental health. So this is the relaunch of our music and mental health series that we've been featured in Billboard for. And we are so excited to be able to provide quarterly music industry events where we talk about mental health in a more holistic way. So today I am very excited to introduce our special guest, AMAC McGuire, who is a platinum mix engineer, a vocal producer, and a motivational speaker who has worked with the likes of Kelly Rowland, has worked with Murda Beatz, Shorty, Mickey Shiloh. The list goes on. So, Ali, I am so stoked to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. I'm also in LA at 9:20 a.m. rocking out on a Saturday.
Nice. I'm going to pin you really quickly so folks can see you. And I'm going to pin myself as well. Can everybody see us okay? Can you give me a thumbs up? Okay, cool. Awesome. So for everyone who hasn't been to one of our events before, we've been doing these music and mental health events for the last for years. And one of the reasons why we do it is because we believe in having a holistic approach to the music industry. And as creatives and entrepreneurs, it's really important to be able to speak about things like this because sometimes it can get very lonely in the music industry. So one of the reasons why I brought Ali on is because Ali has been going on a self-healing, self-love journey and has a lot to speak on in terms of how that has impacted her career, as well as how we can move past our egos within the music industry and move more towards our purpose and impact. So, Ali, I want to start off by going a little bit in depth into how you got started in the music industry, and then we can talk a little bit more about your mental health journey. So can you tell us a little bit about how you got started in music?
Sure, I'll try to do this in the shortest way possible. So I got started in the music industry when I was actually going to college to be a journalist, and I just kind of was failing every single paper that I was putting in. And I had gotten a paper back that I thought I did really, really well on, and I failed it again. I decided after that class, I went to the administrative office and I dropped out of college that day without telling anybody. And I got in my car and I was like, I think I need to have another plan of what I'm gonna do. And I was like, I wanted to be a music producer that one time when I was 15. So I think I'm gonna do that. And I went to the library, looked up music production, and ended up going to a 6-month program for audio engineering instead. And I still, to this day, people always ask me, like, why did you choose audio engineering? And the answer is really that audio engineering chose me. I kind of had no choice but to do it. I made beats for a while, but audio engineering just kind of kept calling me. So after school, I'm very proudly from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Let's go. And I got there and I'm working to, I built a studio in my house doing all of this stuff, but I ended up kind of running out of all of my money and got this job at Jimmy John's, also went there, quit after the first day and said, no, I'm going to figure out how to make music my living. And a week later, I saw an ad on Craigslist, of all places, that there was a venue that needed a live sound engineer and they'd pretty much take anyone who would accept $60 a night. So I said, I will take that $60, let's run it. And then I became a professional live sound engineer for the next 7 years. While I was still working in the studio, but working at venues all over Philadelphia and touring. And eventually, after a few years, I got the opportunity to do front of house for Fetty Wap and Post Malone in 2016. And I met a mentor on that tour who kind of, told me like, hey, Allie, like, look, you did this live sound thing and you didn't even really want to do this live sound thing. And it's great, but if you really want to make records, you're going to have to go to LA. So I packed up my bags from Philadelphia 7 years ago, moved out to LA, and I got here. And fortunately, I had such a great live sound resume that I was able to get gigs out here in the interim of figuring out how to be in the studio. But I started being in the studio about 4 months after I got out to LA, and just kind of went crazy and was all over the place working with all of the labels. And how I got into it and all of this and how I made any of this was really just I talked to anybody who was willing to talk to me about it until I figured it out. And that is like the shortest possible way I could tell that story.
Well, I'm sure there are a lot of challenges that you faced and a lot of life that you've experienced in those years too. Also, as a reminder to everyone, definitely take some notes. If there's anything that speaks out to you as we're going through this event, keep in mind later on we will have a Q&A. So eventually we'll switch things over so that you all can participate and ask questions. So if anything speaks to you, feel free to write those questions down and then we'll answer those towards the end of the event. So cool. Well, in your brief time in the music industry, air quotes, how has it been, transitioning actually from the music industry to doing motivational speaking? Actually, I want to switch that, scratch that. So you've been in the music industry for how long has it been now?
15 years.
15 years. In the last 15 years, what are some of the challenges that you've faced and how did you overcome them before?
Man, I mean, I think the challenges are, one, believing in yourself that you can do it, having to just show up every day, meeting with, so many people, hearing a lot of no's, making a lot of mistakes. I know that this sounds so general, but also just facing, look, being a woman in the industry and facing being like, let's say I'm doing live sound and I'm literally covered in cables and microphones and I'm standing there and somebody comes up to me and says, hey, where's the audio engineer at? And I'm like, well, it's kind of me, man. And just kind of being able to take all of that stuff in stride and keep going. Not everybody is gonna like your work all the time. They're gonna go with somebody else. Can you still get up and do another mix the next day or whatever it is for you? And I think just, the willingness to wake up and do it again, no matter what, has happened the day before.
Yeah, I think I like that you spoke to being a woman in the music industry because that is, I'm a woman and in the music industry and I know exactly how it goes. So, but I think that what folks might be able to relate to is, there are always going to be people who don't believe in us, right? There are always going to be people who are going to not think that we're good enough, who are going to not believe that we are as good as we say that we are, or that we even deserve to be in the room. So one of the things I wanted to ask you about today actually was, how did you navigate those kinds of situations? Like when someone would feel a certain way about you, like they didn't believe that you deserved to be in the room, or they didn't think that you were the audio engineer, or that you weren't capable of doing a certain job. How did you navigate those situations?
Well, I just made it fun for myself because I knew that I was really sick at my job. So it didn't really matter if they thought that I wasn't, because it was going to be really, really obvious to them as soon as I started doing my thing that I was one of the best people in the room. So, a lot of the times, like if I would just, even in sessions, right? Like I would just like sit somewhere else in the room and just kind of chill. And I think people would be like, who is this girl? And like, why is she sitting over there? And I'm just like, as soon as somebody's ready to record, I get up, I sit in the seat, and I'm like, all right, guys, let's go. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, it's me, AMAC. I'm your audio engineer. And, instead of like, look, there's no reason to fight it at the end of the day. Like all I can do is show up and be me and be dope at my job and show them that, not even show them that I deserve to be there, because I know that I deserve to be there.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good point. We have someone who asked, what is the difference between an audio engineer and a beat maker? Do you want to explain that really quick?
Sure. So a beat maker is someone who is playing the instruments, whether it's virtual or actual instruments, and putting together the arrangement of the song. And an audio engineer is someone who is capturing the audio and mixing it to be a better soundscape.
Cool. Marcus, I hope that answers your question. Cool. So you've had a really incredible journey in the music industry, and I'm so glad that we've gotten to become more connected and that the both of us are on similar journeys. You've worked with some really incredible names in the music industry, and I think sometimes we get lost in this idea of like, we need to work with big people in order to be big ourselves. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey in working with some of these A-list celebrities and how you've been able to manage your ego?
Yeah, sure. And, the truth is that I wasn't always able to manage my ego at all. And that's like why we're here, like talking today, right? And it's so interesting, like when you're asking me, like, how did I deal with like some of this stuff? And I'm like, man, did I deal with it well?
Yep.
I don't know. We were just trying to make it every day, and I think, I've definitely, especially in LA, like it is so easy to get lost in the sauce. Like there was one point I was an engineer for a producer, and we're working in a mansion on the top of Laurel Canyon. We could just see the entire city on both sides. If you can imagine it, I had a Cuban chain link chain that was like gold, rose gold and silver, just like feeling myself out here all day. Like, I'm on the come up, like I'm working with people all over the world. I'm living my dreams. Like let's fucking go. You guys can't touch me. I'm AMAC McGuire. And then what happens, which is a very, very typical story in LA and in the music industry, is that situation blows up, and I'm owed a lot of money, and the producer is a drug addict, and he's having a complete psychotic break, basically, from all of the drugs, keeping me there until 8 a.m, bouncing down files he's never going to open and he's never going to use. And, that's the stuff that you ignore when you let your ego get in the way, because it's so fun. You can't believe it. You're living your dreams. It's amazing. But when your head gets a little too big, then you can find yourself in possibly dangerous situations that you just ignored because it fed your ego.
Yeah, I think that's a great segue actually into how you got into the music, or not the music industry, into the mental health space, because you have gone through a lot with artists and you've gone through a lot in life. What brought you into being passionate about mental health, and what has your mental health journey been like?
Well, I've just struggled with mental health so much in my life, and I've always like really felt strongly that I wanted to also, help people live their dreams and live it in a better way. So that was always like really a big passion of mine, and just trying to figure out what that meant. And I think for a lot of the journey, I was like saying all of these things so I could believe them. So I could figure out how to like instill that in myself. And, eventually with, why we're here, and, I'll just get into it, is that, I burned out a lot of times. There've been a few times where I couldn't even come in my studio anymore, because it literally just hurts so bad. And that feeling of, really disliking and not being able to do something that you love with your heart and your body and your being is such a painful thing that I really want to do my best to help other people avoid through my experiences of burning out and having to actually put a full stop on my entire life. Because if I didn't stop, I was going to continue to repeat the same cycles of just, going through it. Because look, as much as I can tell you guys, yeah, like you have to get up and do it the next day, you also have to know when you can't get up and do it the next day. You also have to know when you have to stop and try to find something else because it doesn't feel good in your body, or in your mind, and all of these things that you're just like, why I'm staying in this situation for my ego because it feeds my ego, right? Like, and I think it's going to get me somewhere that's going to give me validation. And it's not. So, I had to stop completely so I could change my frame of mind and my approach to life. And it's been incredibly painful, and it's been incredibly joyful, and it's been incredibly worth it. And what am I grateful for today? I'm grateful that you've allowed me a platform to express this and to tell my story, because I think it's so important.
Yeah, Ali, I mean, I'm so grateful for you joining us today. I am seeing in the chat, Riza said, I try to give that reminder to myself that I am human and not a robot, and we all need room to breathe. I really like that. And I think one of the reasons why you and I truly, for everyone who's in here, Ali and I connected off of social media, and I was following her for some time. One of our mutuals who I think we've had on an event before, Dilemma, who's a producer, who's now also in LA, who's worked with Jasmine Sullivan and is really incredible as well. He had referred me to follow Ali a long time ago. And it wasn't really until, and that was probably 3-4 years ago. And it wasn't until recently that the both of us have been posting a lot about our self-love journeys and our healing journeys that we got a chance to connect. And Ali, I'm so grateful that, one, that you agreed to come on and we're open to collaborating on this event. But I'm also so grateful that the audience and that our Finessed Media community gets a chance to experience this with us and talk about things that are so real. Because I think sometimes in the music industry, we get so caught up in being great and having the numbers and the streams and looking cool, having our Instagrams look good, having the highest number of followers on TikTok. And at the end of the day, we're still human. We have a lot of things going on in our lives in addition to what's happening in our careers. And it's so important to be able to speak about these stories. So I'm so glad that you're even open to sharing these stories with us, because not everyone is always open to doing that.
For sure. I think it's really important to me to talk about the things that people kind of don't want to talk about. My seminar and my speech, my hour-long speech that I'm giving is called Finding Your Guides and the Realities of the Music Industry. And it's about, finding your inner guides within yourself to help you navigate through this stuff. But then I talk about you know, all of these situations and the good and the bad and the ugly and the beautiful and all of it, because it's all there, you know, wrapped around in myself, because I make all the decisions. I keep myself in all the places. Like it's all on me, whatever happened, you know.
Yeah, you were doing, so I remember you were doing some events in the music industry, and then you kind of took a break. Can you talk about why you decided to take that step back?
For sure. And yeah, I definitely put on a lot of events, and hopefully I'm going to start doing them again now because I got myself to a place. But so I had created a community called The Pocket, and it was a community to help people live their dreams in a healthy way. So I've always put on educational music events for years. I was doing sound bath yogas. I was having team meetings. I was just putting on super dope networking events, and I was giving speeches at all of these, talking about like, let's live better. And then I woke up after I threw the last event, and it was crazy because all the things that I wanted to happen with it were happening. I was getting sponsorships from the biggest brands in audio in my community, and I was making all of these incredible connections to continue my career. And I woke up and I couldn't get out of my bed, and that wasn't my choice again. And I realized that how could I tell anybody how to live their dreams in a healthy way if I had absolutely zero idea how to do that? So that was the beginning of like, I was like, at first I was like, I'm just going to take 2 weeks off and then I'll come back to it, as if 2 weeks was like enough time. And that's running an entire organization that's doing at least one big event per month. I'm making all the graphics. I'm doing all the promotion. I'm still a professional audio engineer, recording and mixing. So I've got like 4 or 5 full-time jobs. I was like, yeah, 2 weeks. And then after 2 weeks, I was like, oh, 2 months. And then I was like, oh, maybe we'll take another month. And then I was like, maybe we'll take 6.
That's how it goes.
You know, and it's just like, but that was beautiful because it finally allowed me to actually listen to myself. You know, because so many times I've probably known that I had to stop or slow down, but like I just didn't. I just grit my teeth and kept going. But during this time of dealing with myself, because again, all of this stuff is about me. It's also about, you know, I have this great story. So I'm also a recovering alcoholic. I haven't drank in over 12 and a half years. And I started making all of my money off of music 3 weeks after I quit drinking. And that's so dope for so many reasons. What I also realized was that I just traded drinking for overworking to numb the pain of my life. You know, so it forced me to deal with myself, and in dealing with myself and knowing myself is how I get to continue with my career in music in a lot of different ways, start another career in motivational speaking, and listen to myself when I need the self-care or whatever I need to continue to actually do this in a healthy manner. So I'm definitely doing that. I feel great about being an example for that. And I feel great about continuing to like now show you guys and anyone who's watching me that I'm going to build my life now around this. And I'm really going to be able to speak this into people. And it's not me just trying to convince myself how to do it.
I really like the point that you made about how you replaced one high with another high, because I think we as a society often do that. We're constantly chasing what makes us happy. We're constantly chasing what feels like, what is the word? I guess a high is a good word to use, but we're constantly chasing that. If it's not alcohol, it's drugs. If it's not drugs, it's love. If it's not love, it's work. Like, we're always chasing something, and it's never enough, which is why you go for more and more and more. And I think it's really awesome that we're able to have this conversation today about how it's not always about chasing that high. We have to find peace within ourselves in order for us to be able to function as human beings on a day-to-day basis. Because if we're constantly up here, then eventually we're going to be down here, and then eventually we're going to be up here again, which is fine, but we have to be able to find some neutrality so that we can function on a day-to-day basis, because we can't always operate up here and we can't always operate down here.
Well, I think that's the thing, and especially when we're talking about the music industry and just in life in general, and this is something I'm still learning, but about just staying here, even when you get like that big success, right? Because, and it's just like, this is really cool, but like, I'm still here because I'm just living the life experience. And don't get me wrong, like, feel good about this, right? But if you go up here, and especially in an industry that like your big highs can come with a lot of time in between them. And if you feel so up here and that's like your validation for who you are, that in between time is going to keep you down here. Like sorry, but down here, with feeling like your worth is low because you're not, because you haven't gotten a platinum record in a while, or nothing's been on Billboard in a while, or man, the phone hasn't rang in a week. Like, but if we stay here, we just understand that this is awesome and this is cool too.
Yep. Yeah, Larry made a great point in the chat. He said the greatest thing people can learn is that you cannot do it all in one go or overnight. You cannot carry the world to find your meaning. And I really love that, because if we are constantly putting pressure on ourselves when, say we do get onto Billboard, or we get a platinum record, or we are featured in Hits Daily Double, all of these are really incredible feats. But if that's how we find our meaning, then when we are not getting awards, when we're not working with the big artists, when we're not seeing our streaming numbers be at millions and millions, then it makes us feel like we're not good enough. It makes us feel like we're not doing enough. It makes us feel like we're not capable. And it's hard to get out of that if you don't really know what your purpose is, and if your purpose becomes those awards.
For sure. Can I talk about purpose and ego wise real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
So in my talk, your guides, I'm working on like a better way to call them your guides, because my one friend was like, "Ali, search guides on the internet," and can't wait to see how many different definitions of guides there are. But they're your values, which are who you are, your whys, which are your motivation, and I've broken them down into your ego and your purpose whys, and your what, and then your hows. And your what is what you use for your whys, which is your motivation. So in this instance, our what is music, right? So I broke it down because we're talking about purpose and ego so much here, right? Like, my purpose wise are making an impact and bringing joy, and my ego wise are proving people wrong and searching for validation within my success. And and then your what is music and how you use that. But when you get down to your purpose, if you're making an impact, if I'm making an impact and bringing joy, whatever your purpose wise might be, then it's not really attached to the success. It's not really attached to the music industry. So many of us struggle with feeling like our identity is music. Our identity is not music. It is who we are. And when you let go of like the ego and all of that and like work on your purpose, that's why I'm so excited about motivational speaking, because it speaks to my purpose and I get to still do music. I'm still doing music in there and becoming an artist, and just another way to also speak my word. But I just say that to, make sure you guys know that like you are not music. You're so much more than music. We're just humans here having an experience and being attached to success in any kind of industry and stuff like that. Like that's not why we're here. We're here to live.
Yeah, I really love that. You said ego wise, and I'm just gonna type that in the chat. Ego wise and purpose wise, right? That's what you said?
Yeah.
All right. I'm just gonna type that into the chat for you all to just keep in mind. Awesome. I'd really love to open the floor up to questions from folks if you're open to it, Allie.
I am.
Okay, cool. So if anyone has any questions, I know some of you are probably curious, or I know everyone's come in for a different reason. So if you have questions, feel free to raise your hand. Obviously, please keep it on topic. We don't want to be going way off overboard. But Martel, I see you have a question. If you'd like to unmute yourself, feel free to ask it.
Yes, hello.
Hey, Martel.
Hey, how you doing? But yes, I want to first say thank you for sharing your story with us. It was, very interesting. But my question, I would say, would you have any tips into getting into motivational speaking?
Well, yeah. So it's kind of, for me, the same way that I kind of do anything is that I look for anyone who's like willing to talk to me about it. Like I fortunately or just like telling anyone. One day I was with an acquaintance and I mentioned I wanted to be a motivational speaker, and she was like, "Oh, my dad's actually a professional motivational speaker. Do you want me to put him in contact with you?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then all of a sudden I had a mentor in motivational speaking. But then there's also a thing called Toastmasters International. If you guys don't know about Toastmasters, I'd honestly suggest it for anybody. It's an incredible thing. It's only $60 every 6 months to be a part of a club. And it teaches you, and now I'm saying, and now I'm so aware of it. And it's so funny because my Toastmasters meeting is actually like happening right now. So I know they're counting my somewhere. But they teach you speaking, public speaking and leadership skills. And it's just a really collaborative space, safe space for you to learn how to write speeches, how to deliver speeches, and how to get feedback. And yeah, then just, go out into the world and try. I mean, the amount of emails I send and the people that I talk to, like, I'm like, somebody let me give a speech. I'm here. So hopefully that's helpful.
No, absolutely.
Cool. Thanks, Martel. It's so great to see you on here. All right, Izzy, you are up.
Hi, so you mentioned that you were working in venues all over Philly for a few years. I'm 23. I started working at a venue about less than a year ago in Vienna, Virginia. And 3 months ago I just got promoted to what was it called? Like house manager. So I'm running shows there, doing deals with artists every night, and lately it's been taking up a lot of my time in mental space. I just wanted to know to see if you had any daily practices that I don't know, journaling, or did you have anything while you were working at a venue? Because I feel that would help.
Well, while I was working at venues, your girl was insane. So, but now we're in a better place and we do journal. But so something, I don't know if you're into it, and I think all of you guys should get into baths, okay? Everybody needs to get into baths if you can take one. I think that it's just a great place to kind of to relax. You get salts, you throw salts in your bath. I do a face mask, I light a candle, I do a whole salt scrub just to kind of And it's like to just kind of get everybody's energy off of me and get back into my own. And look, working in venues, doing sound like that is super stressful. A lot of people need a lot of stuff from you. And, you know, you want to talk about issues that come up out of nowhere. You do an entire sound check and everything is cool, and then the band comes on and all of a sudden the lead microphone doesn't work anymore and there's nobody on stage. It's just you. What are you gonna do? You got to run through the crowd, you're elbowing people, get out of my way, you know? So so all of that stuff is definitely really stressful, but I would just whatever works for you is at the end of those days. Like if there's something that I really wish I did while I was in the midst of all of this stuff, is that at the end of long days, even when it was like 4 or 5 in the morning, that I would just come home and not even just go to bed because I was so exhausted, but take a minute for myself to release everything that just happened in the day, so I don't even take it to bed with me. So yeah, whether that's a bath for you, which is great because you can fall asleep in there too, but like be careful, obviously, you know. Or it's journaling, or it's like just having a cup of tea that helps you go to sleep and just taking the moment to decompress.
Okay. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Or drinking tea with a face mask in the bath.
I definitely take a tea in the bath. Yeah, I definitely do.
Cool. Thanks, Izzy. Rizal actually had a question in the chat and he's not able to speak, so I wanted to ask this for him. He said, how were you able to manage burnout while maintaining consistency in a space where you have to be on go 24/7?
I mean, I didn't manage it. I didn't manage it. I just kept going. I just knew how to keep going. You know, and now that I'm doing this healthily now, it's about knowing what actually aligns with me and what doesn't. And that's really hard, especially when you're in an industry that does, you know, like a lot of my life was literally like, I'm in the grocery store, I just put some carrots in the cart and somebody hit me and says, hey, we need you to come to the studio. And I have to abandon my cart and leave. You know, like, and it's really tough when you're coming up and trying to figure that out. I would really just say the same thing that I just said, finding time for yourself. And like when things are going really good, it's really easy to not see what you're doing that's hurting yourself. So I think being conscious of like, okay, I know that I'm feeling really good right now, but I should still take a day for myself right now before it's a day that I'm just so exhausted that I can't get out of bed, because that's not actually rest. That's just absolute exhaustion. So just taking these moments for yourself, like every week, putting it into your schedule. Like even in the time period where I'm dropping everything and leaving, saying no to sessions on one day when you're saying yes to most of them is not detrimental to your career. People aren't going to stop calling you because you said no 1 or 2 days in a row.
Yep.
So I think that's what I'd say.
Yeah, I think that's really helpful. Riza, I'm just going to speak for you really quickly because I know you can't speak, but Riza is a multifaceted creator who does a lot of different things, which is why I think he was asking you, is because he's doing a yoga teacher training. He works full time. He also is an artist. He runs his own merch company. And so I think in terms of, you know, a lot of us we're multifaceted creators. It's very easy for us to get lost in the sauce where, you know, Ali, you look like you're going to say something.
Yeah, sorry. You know, the one thing I would add to that, because I understand that, and we were just literally talking about this before the call, right? Of like, oh God, I have so many things to do. There's so many things to do. And it's like, yo, look, you don't have to do them all today. Things literally take time. And it is better for us to take time and feel good than to get everything done in a day or a week. Like even you know, being an audio engineer, sometimes it's like you'll do a song and then the artist literally won't say anything to you for months. And then they hit you and say, hey, we need this song mixed in 2 days. You know what? You really don't, dog. You really, really, really don't. I know you don't. And if I do it in 2 days, you're still not going to put it out for months. So but we're so like, oh, well, we want them to rely on us and we need the work and like we're trying to get here. And it's like, no, I promise you that one, if they actually need it in that amount of time and you can't do it, let them find somebody else. Let them find somebody else. It's okay. They can come back to you. Maybe that project just wasn't for you. Or you just tell them, I can get this done in 5 days. And most of the time they'll be like, yeah, for sure, because they do not need it in 2 days.
Yep. Rizah said that's real. And he said he has to get back to class in a couple of minutes. But he said, thank you for your time and good seeing y'all. Finesse Media Squad. So that's to all of you. Cool. Bye, Rizah. Cool. Ever, did you still have a question? I saw your hand was up.
No, Risa kind of asked it before me. It was about, you know, consistency. Thank you, guys.
Cool. Let me roommate. You're up.
Perfect. First, Ali, thank you for sharing your story. I find it like incredibly difficult for me to open up in the slightest way. So I think it's very admirable for you to share with the intentions of helping others. And my question would be that I'm sure that there's levels to production, but I feel like it's hard for me to tell between like good and like great audio engineers. Like I've worked with multiple ones and like they're recommended by like other artists or, you know, just I've had some reach out to me through Instagram and I've tried them and I feel like I can't like I want to stick to one and just work with one, but I can't tell if like some are like better. Like, does that make sense?
For sure. Well, slight self-promotion, I'm great. But but you know, it's about finding the one who's right for you. It's about finding the person who you can communicate with appropriately for the sound you're looking for, because it's all about communication and it's all about care. So you also got it. Somebody might introduce you to an audio engineer and they might just care more about that person's project than they care about yours. And that's the truth. So you have to find someone, you know, who really cares about your project, really cares about doing it in the way that you would like it to be done and who you can communicate with to like get your thought for the sound. So, you know, and between someone who's good and great, you know, like music sound, it's so oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Everybody thinks of it differently. Why can't I think of the word? Somebody knows it. It's objective, you know, like what art should sound like and stuff like that. So really, I just think finding somebody that you think is dope, that has the same that when you're like talking to them, you guys are like, oh, I already know what you're gonna say. I already know what you're gonna say, and building like that kind of communication with somebody. And even if it doesn't happen right away, just somebody that you feel like you can really just talk things through.
Okay, perfect. That makes a lot of sense. Definitely being on the same page sounds like it's kind of obvious, so you can get to the goal. But I feel like because I've done it online, and so I did my best. But then I have another question, if that's okay.
Will you hold it and we'll
Yeah.
get right back towards the
Okay.
end? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Thank you. Awesome. Yaminko, you made it. Oh, you're muted. Also, we're gonna do Yaminko, then Mr. iPhone. I'm not sure what your name is because your phone says iPhone, but then we'll do you and then we'll get back to you. Love me roommate. So Yaminko, you're up.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for this. I got in a little late for reasons that have to do exactly with what she was talking about. I didn't leave the studio until like 6 this morning. A lot of it is taking back-to-back sessions. To like brief introduction, I'm a songwriter, artist, and audio engineer. And I do a bunch of creative direction work. And I recently got my first like official degree as an audio engineer. And so I'm able to take more work, and I was able to like get hired by a studio to actually do the work that I wanted to do in person. And so I guess my question, which I kind of like hinted at in the chat, was how has your self-talk like changed over time? Because I feel like I'm in this place where I'm navigating like a delicate balance between being driven and wanting to take on more work and doing good work and having imposter syndrome 60-70% of the time. Where it's like I'll hear someone's work and they want to work with me, and I think, why would they want that? And that makes me feel like I'm going to have to do more work, which also makes me feel like I'm not allowed to say no to these things because I have to keep taking them to build reputation and leverage and all that. So how would you say that talk with yourself, grew over time, and how do you maintain like a healthy relationship with yourself in the process of that?
Well, once again, for a long time, I did not.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll use for a really good example of this is when I mixed the record with Murda Beatz. I did the mixes, and we had one mix sit down, and one of his notes was just like, he just needed like the drums to hit harder on this one song, right? But he just didn't give me a whole lot to like go on, right? But so I had already given the mixes, and I have to wait for the official notes. You want to know how I didn't wait for the official notes, and I must have remixed the entire album 4 times that I never sent to another person because I couldn't send it or I would have looked fucking crazy. Why are you still sending me so many versions, Allie? Like you can't do that. I still have to wait for him. But because all I took from him was that the drums needed to be hit a little harder, and I was just like, Murda Beatz is telling me that the drums don't hit hard enough. What do I do? Like, oh God, I'm not good. I suck if and like that's what I'm going through. Like if I just remix them, maybe I'll have one like that he'll like and I'll figure it out and this and that and the other thing, you know what I mean? And like really going through that. But getting to, and that's the imposter syndrome, and like me being so scared like that this record was the record that was gonna change everything for me. And if it wasn't perfect, then I wasn't perfect. I wasn't good. Right. And that what I do now is that I understand like, hey, look, I did this. I am capable of making the drums hit harder, but I need you to give me official notes. I need you to communicate with me now. It's not like I'm good. If you're taking too much work, you're not gonna do good work. Your ears aren't gonna be able to tell the difference between all of the things that you're doing and taking that space. So if you want to take the project, see when you get projects in, see which ones really feel the best for you. And if you want to take the other ones, tell them you can take it, but like give yourself like schedule it out that you can't like do it right now. But I think the biggest thing, I would say to you is just to understand that the amount of work that you're getting and the amount of work that you're doing is not your worth. Is not your worth. And you like the work, if you keep working, the work will keep coming. And we want the right work. I spent a lot of time in not the right work. And it was the work I needed to get here. I'm grateful for it. You know what I mean? But I could have chosen to find places that cared for me more.
Yeah, that hit. I really needed to hear that one. I've sent this client a mix 10 times now. There are 10 versions of this from one comment they made. They still haven't responded in full, and I think this offers me so much clarity. Thank you for this. Yeah, the official notes, asking for official notes, I'm definitely adding that to my piece. Thank you for that.
Thanks, Yaminko. I'm so glad you made it today, even though I know you're probably tired.
I'm glad I did too. I needed this one. I showed up at the right time. Thank you for doing this.
Awesome. Cool. Mr. iPhone. I'm not sure what your name is, but you're welcome to unmute yourself and ask your question. And then we'll go into Let Me Roommate. Also, Ali, I just love listening to you talk. I'm sitting here like, this is good.
Yeah.
All right, you're up, Mr. iPhone.
Hey, what's up? My name's Stormy. Um, I'm a record press operator. I've worked in manufacturing for the past couple years. Vinyl record manufacturing. I was wondering, um, I mainly got this job kind of like out of a whim, like out of coincidence, but if I wasn't working this, just like the Jimmy John's thing, like I would be working some regular 9 to 5 that doesn't pertain to what my interests are because I myself too didn't finish my bachelor's. So I was wondering what advice would you have for those people that can't necessarily find a position in, it doesn't even necessarily have to be the music industry. Maybe they're creative and they just want to be artistic and live a creative lifestyle. Um, but yeah, what advice do you have, for those type of people that, gigging, I mean, me personally as well, I don't necessarily care for like having to rely on gigging and waiting for my work and the work that I put in to develop a clientele that could provide me with consistent income. I'd rather be a W-2 employee. Um, but I know that like a lot of these positions in this industry are kind of uh, honestly, as far as I can think, like manufacturing is the only thing I can think of that could actually be on a payroll, or at least as far as the years that I've been interested in this industry, this is the first time I've ever been on a payroll that pertains to records. But yeah, I don't know.
I
Yeah,
got you. I
how do
got
you
you.
just juggle that, I guess.
Well, I mean, first of all, it's great that you have a strong sense of what you do and don't want to do. That's like definitely a first step. There are, if you want a salary and stuff in the music industry, like generally you're talking like A&R kind of work and stuff like that. Manufacturing, yeah, because that's more of like, I hate like the term like real job, because all of them are real jobs, you
Yeah.
know. So I think it's like, so there's a great book that I would recommend that anybody read called Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. It is one of the, I think they should teach it in college courses because the way she talks about being a creative is like really, really beautiful. Um, and it's just like, look, having, like, if you want to be a creative, you just get to be a creative, period. Like, it's not based on where you make your money at all. Like, whatever your job is, like, so she talks about, so Elizabeth Gilbert wrote Eat, Pray, Love.
Okay.
And she talks about how she was with a big publishing house, a published author for 3 books. And she kept a job at like a coffee shop because she didn't want to put pressure on her art to make her living. So yeah, I just think it's like not judging yourself for whatever you're doing, and just be a creative in whatever way that you want. If you have this manufacturing job and that's cool, and you like to live like that and make the rest of your art, who knows what will eventually happen with it if you're just doing it because you enjoy it instead of, like you said, like the gig economy and stuff like that, that you don't like. Like eventually what you work on could be this thing that brings you in the income in the way that you want, that you can almost create the salaried position for yourself. So hopefully I'm answering your question.
No, I feel you.
But I think like it's just possible to create whatever life you want and not kind of judge yourself for what you think you should or shouldn't be doing along the way.
And I'm going to add to that,
Nice.
Stormy. I think if you're trying to get into, and this goes for anyone who is still trying to figure out their path in the music industry, there are so many different types of roles, and sometimes you just have to explore what's out there and see what you can and can't do, what you have the skills for and what you don't. And the music industry is very competitive, but there are ways that you can get your foot in the door. So you can do internships, but you don't even necessarily need to just do internships in order to get your foot in the door in the music industry. It's all about networking and putting yourself out there and saying, these are the skill sets that I have. These are some of the things that I'm interested in. And the more people that you talk to, the more opportunities will arise. And that's how it goes. If you're a producer, an engineer, an artist, you're on the entrepreneurial side, you're working corporate, you tell someone, hey, I'm looking to be an A&R. You might be talking to the wrong person, but they might know someone. And then you get in touch with that person. That person's like, I'm not an A&R, I'm not in that space, but I know someone who works at Universal. And then you just keep networking over and over and over. And that's where coming to events like this can be really helpful, which, by the way, I did drop the contact sheet in the chat for all of you again, if you all want to connect with each other at the end and just get to know each other. But just as you're networking, make it a point. This is so important in the music industry, to speak what you want into existence and say what you're looking for. And it's okay to not know too, but start having those conversations with people about what it is that you're looking to do. And you'll start to find that people are willing to help where they can, as long as, you're speaking those things into the universe. So hopefully that's helpful.
Yeah, thanks.
Cool. Thanks, Stormy. All right, I'm going to ask you to hold off for a second because we have to get into our mental health workshop. But thank you, everybody, for all your questions. And I hope that you all are taking some value out of this. If it's not, the stories that are being told, then you're getting the resources out of it. If it's not the resources, then it's hearing other people speak about some of the questions that they have and getting those answered. So I am going to go ahead and transition us into our mental health workshop, where Ali is actually going to lead us very gracefully into a motivational meditation. Ali, do you need any meditation music or anything in the background, or what do you need from me?
No, I think we're just gonna try to do it with me just talking.
Cool. Okay. Awesome.
I think that's cool.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Also, really quickly, I just want to get a feel for the room and see how everyone is doing. If you have, most of you have your cameras off, which turn your cameras on. So, but if not, that's okay. If everyone is doing all right, usually Ali would do this thing. If this is our tradition, we'll just unmute ourselves and give a little woo woo. So if you're enjoying the event so far, go ahead and unmute yourself and give us a little woo woo.
Woo woo.
Cool. Awesome. So Linda says, I'm making a smoothie and I look crazy. Linda, we appreciate the crazy. It's cool. All right, so we are going to go ahead and move into a motivational meditation. So if you haven't done a meditation before, it's totally fine. We have been introducing meditations into our mental health workshops so that folks can have an additional tool to process stress, process any grief, anything that you're experiencing. So I'm going to let Ali take over from here and just, allow yourselves to feel whatever it is that you're feeling and you want to experience. So Ali, you are up.
All right. So guys, this is my first time leading a meditation, and I'm really excited to do this for you guys, to do it with you guys. And yeah, let's get into it. So wherever you are, get into a comfortable position. If you're sitting, place your feet on the ground with your back straight. If you're able to lie down, either way, close your eyes. And let's take a moment to focus on our breath. We're going to do a couple breathing techniques to bring ourselves to our present. The first we are going to do is take 3 breaths where we take 2 quick, big inhales through our nose and let out a long breath through our mouth. So we'll just do that 3 times at your own pace. We do this to expand more oxygen into our lungs and release stress from our bodies. Now we're going to take 2 deep breaths. We're going to inhale through our nose for 4 seconds. Hold your breath for 4 seconds. Exhale through your mouth for 4 seconds. And hold your exhale for 4 seconds. We're going to do that 2 times at your own pace. Now we'll return to our regular breath, not judging it, just letting it flow. We're here together in this present moment. Anything else that is going on, let it be where it is and be here now, in this place full of support and love. Allow whatever thoughts to come up as we continue without judgment. Just observe what comes up, whether it's a thought in your mind or a feeling in your body. If you find yourself straying too far, come back to your breath and your presence. Let's take this time to connect with ourselves and bring awareness to how have you been taking care of yourself lately? Have you been taking care of yourself lately? Maybe you've said yes to 1 too many things, or maybe 5 too many things that you didn't have the capacity for. Are you staying in a situation that you know no longer serves you because it's easier than figuring out what comes next? Maybe you're doing that because you've done it countless times before. What's one more? I'm here to tell you 1 more is too many. Have you been scared to send an email or make some content because you might be rejected? Or even worse, you might be accepted? If you get what you want, your life might change. And if you don't, it might stay the same. Maybe you're worried about what others will think of you or how they will react to you deciding how you want to live. Maybe you've been avoiding a tough conversation, either with yourself or others. We all have something. We all have many things. As you are thinking about all of the ways that you might be treating yourself better, now notice where those feelings come up in your body and breathe. Imagine what it looks and feels like to be truly taking care of yourself. Maybe it's a bath with candles lit and a face mask, or relaxing after a long day or week. Maybe you picture yourself out in nature, whether that's in a forest or at a beach. Maybe it's drinking a warm tea, watching the sunset and journaling. Maybe it's you saying no to the things that don't serve you. Maybe it's finally having that tough conversation that no matter what way it goes sets you free because you finally choose yourself. How does it feel to have a relaxed body and mind, one cleared of all the things you know aren't good for you? Can you feel yourself with abundance, taken care of, supported? Can you feel that you can give that to yourself whenever you need it? Can you feel that you can choose people that fill up your cup and don't empty? Can you feel yourself setting boundaries and having people around you that respect them? How does it feel to respect yourself? How does it feel to love yourself completely? How does it feel to live authentically in your power? How does it feel to stop holding yourself back? How does it feel to know you are everything you need? Stay connected to your breath in this moment. Live in it. Know that it's already inside of you. I'm going to give you a few moments to sit with that version of you and ask that version of you to show you what you already know, what you need for yourself, what you need to let go of, what you need to stop being afraid of, and what you need to face. Without judgment of your thoughts, bring awareness to your breath. Now that we have talked with ourselves, I want you to say this to yourself. From here on out, it is a requirement for my cup to be full so I can give my work, my friends, my family, all of the focus and love they deserve. When I deplete myself, I am not able to do my best. Not only do all of these things deserve my best, but so do I. I am amazing. I am great. I am okay right where I am. I have everything I need. I am everything that I need. As we start to come back to present, remember that you have the power to provide yourself with a safe place to feel, that you can create peace within your own mind and body simply by bringing yourself back to your breath. Being aware is one of the most important things we can do for ourselves, and the first step to making a change. Let's take 2 more deep breaths. Start to wiggle your toes and your fingers. Move your legs, your arms, your neck. And whenever you're ready, open your eyes and come back. Thank you guys for showing up for yourself today. And remember, you got this, and you can take care of yourself in every way that you need. If any of you would like to share anything that came up for you during this meditation or any time throughout this entire meeting, I'd love to open it up for you to share your thoughts.
Love me, roommate. Go for it.
That was just it was very interesting. I felt like my body was asleep, but like my mind was conscious and all I could hear was you and I felt myself breathing. And then like that was weird. What is that state? I've never felt that way. So I didn't really think of anything. I was just like completely present, which was kind of felt new to me. So I don't have that's all though.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Linda, what about you?
Honestly, I just want to say thank you for having this safe space to feel and like to get back to our bodies. because it's it's a season where I've been doing so much, like I've been being pulled in so many different directions, and it's also hard to have those conversations with people when you realize that, like, you need to take a step back. You need to, just take that season of rest. And even just coming from like a spiritual place, um just taking time to really nurture and like develop the gifts that you have. And sometimes we often get to a place where we know our gifts, we know our talents, but then we can often like come up empty. And this was a reminder to just, you have to, like, to fill ourselves back up. And I definitely, like, this was so timely because I did have a conversation with someone in ministry, and when I even told them like I needed to take a break, it wasn't met with the compassion and the respect that I wanted, but I was proud of myself for communicating what I was experiencing and like how I needed to take that break before I like burn out in order to show up fully for everyone. So yeah, I just want to say just thank you. Thank you for that that period of just like stillness, because I'm realizing how important stillness is in this season, to connect, to reflect, to be the best versions of ourselves, so that we can show up for everybody else around us, and and just be able to do what we've been called to do just a lot better. So yeah, I just want to say that. Thank you.
Thanks, Linda. All right, Yamiko, you are up. Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, my age is starting to show. Yeah, so I think I've done this thing in the past that's called CCT. It's a compassion cultivation training, and we did an exercise once that was specifically about meeting your inner child and sitting on a bench, and we did a meditation that was, somewhat like the one we did that was guided and that was supposed to be about relationship with self. And I think what ended up coming up for me is, all the ways in which I allow the process to take so much space that I forget myself, and all the times that I also blame myself for the times when I actually need to take care of myself. And I think what ended up hitting home most, as we were doing the meditation, and I was trying to figure out, like, okay, so what are these things? What am I letting go of? It's just, the feeling that the thing you were saying about the cup, it is a requirement for my cup to be full for me to be able to take care of myself and everything that happens around me. And I realized that it's not more of anything. It's what does there need to be less of, and yeah, so what really came up for me is the acceptance that taking care of myself is not just, it's not a theory, it's not a nice thing to do. It's necessary for me to even be able to show up in all the ways that I want to show up, whether it's in music, in relationship, in community, in whatever has to do with the mental health field, that I'm interested in. Just a reminder to put that oxygen mask uh, on myself first, which is not a reflex. Somehow that's the furthest thing from my mind with everything I do. The last thing I ever ask is, am I doing this poorly just because I haven't had time for me? It's always, what's my performance like? Have I reached that goal? Have I talked to all those people? And yeah, just to, declutter and make space for more by allowing space for less of what doesn't need to be there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks, Yamiko. Chase, you are up.
Hi. It is first of all, thank you guys for thank you everybody for being here and sharing this space, and I can feel so much positive energy. I I don't know how to start. I guess I would like to start by saying that I feel like somebody. I feel like you guys are like pouring into me, and I know you guys don't like know me like that or anything like that, but yeah, I haven't like felt that way in a long time. It's like been kind of rare, especially because I had like a similar break for like probably like 4 or 5 months within like the music industry and stuff like that. And it's odd that everyone's like kind of like definitely mentioning being an empty cup, or like, making it a requirement that your cup is full, because just this week I was more honest with myself, and I'm like, yeah, Chase, like you're an empty cup sometimes. Like it's okay to admit that sometimes you're an empty cup and you need to create boundaries, and you need to um and it's like, I think like I was saying these things to myself, but I never had any way to like confirm it, if that makes sense. Like it was kind of just like I'm my own motivation, my own pep talk, like everything like that. So to just kind of share this space and hear those similar things, it really is putting me at ease. So thank you.
Thanks, Chase. It's also so good to see you back on our calls.
Good to see you too. Thank you.
Awesome. Allie, did anything come up for you?
Oh my God. I'm about to cry, guys. Like, thank you for sharing. I am crying. Oh God. But it's okay. You know what? Because it's okay to cry, and it's okay to feel your feelings when they come up, whatever that is. And I would have it's yeah, whew, okay. I'm getting it together. Thank you for giving me this space, guys. But it's beautiful because, like that's the first time I was so nervous about doing that. And, sometimes even for me, as I'm going through this and I'm saying all this stuff to you guys, it's like, my thought is like, am I good enough to give a meditation? Am I, really the voice, that you guys need to hear? And, like you saying about feeling like you've been poured into, like, and that was just so beautiful because that's all I want to do. And that's why I've spent all of this time to fill up my cup so it's overflowing, so I could give it to you wherever you are, like in the world, of knowing that like you guys aren't the only ones that feel this way. So many of us feel this way and nobody wants to talk about it, but it's so important. And as you continue to go through this and whatever you took from this, like you're gonna falter in figuring out how to take care of yourself. And a lot of the times when we do that, because once we become aware, we have to take care of ourselves, but now we're the same way that it's like, well, I didn't do good enough on that mix. Well, I didn't do good enough on taking care of myself. Like that, what you have to do instead of giving yourself that hard criticism is give yourself compassion that you are trying and you are at least aware that you aren't doing it now, and you get to try again tomorrow. Like, no matter how you guys feel, no matter how frustrating it gets or anything, you've got to love yourself through all of it. All of it. You're okay and you're figuring it out. And as long as you keep in the forefront that you are figuring it out, you are amazing. And even if you falter at that, you're worthy and you're enough. And I just really want you guys to know that all the fucking time. That's what I got.
That is so beautiful, Allie. I don't even want to speak anymore. No, this is really awesome. And I really appreciate you, Allie, for sharing this with the community. And I also want to add that, this is a practice for all of us. Allie and I can sit up here and preach to you about the practices that we use and talk to you about our stories. But at the end of the day, we are a community that shows up for each other, but we have to show up for ourselves first. So, take what you will from today's event and leave whatever you need to at the door, because you are supported. Know that you are loved, you are appreciated here. And now that we're hosting these events more regularly, or we will be hosting them more regularly again, just know that you can always come back to this space just as much as you can always come back to your breath, and you can always come back to yourself, and you can always come back to your purpose, and those things will always be there for you. So I want to leave us all off by, first of all, let's all say thank you to Ali. So thank you, Ali, for joining us and leading us through that practice.
Thank you, Ellie.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Ali.
Thank you so much.
And then thank you to all of you for, joining us today and sharing space for yourself, but also holding space for the community, because it does take a lot of courage to be able to show up, especially on a Saturday morning for some of you. So we really appreciate it. And as we're closing things out, I do just want to remind everybody that if you all want to stay in contact with folks from our community, then I do try to create a contact sheet for all of you. So I put it in the chat, so you all can take that with you. If you don't leave with anything else today, you have a contact sheet. And then Ali has also been really generous to share some discounts with us on some of her services. So Ali, if you want to chat about that really quickly before we head off, feel free.
Sure. So I would have loved to tell you guys that I got like a discount link together or something, but like I definitely did not. But I would really love to continue to talk with you guys. So I'm offering, consultations, and however you want to talk, whether that's about your career, or mixing, or songwriting, or production, or if you're looking for a little inspiration, I love to offer discounts to you guys on consultations and mixes. And regardless, like I would love to this was so amazing for me. Like I'm in this community now, like it's on. But I would love to just stay connected with you guys. You can reach out to me either by DMing me on Instagram, you can email me, you can check out my website and all of that stuff. It's all in the contact sheet as well. But yeah, and then we'll talk about the discounts that I haven't figured out at all yet.
All good. And Alex, we can send out an email to the entire community too, so you're good. Cool. Well, I hope everybody has a blessed weekend, and that you all feel like, your cups are a little bit more full today after joining the community. If you want to stay in touch with us and keep up to date with the events, my goal, I'm hoping to do another event in the next 2 weeks. So we were doing them weekly, but now that everybody is kind of outside, I want to at least do them bi-weekly. So if you all have suggestions on who you'd like to see on the events, or you have questions that you want answered and you'd like to see us talk about certain topics, it doesn't have to just be mental health, then, shoot them my way. You can talk to me on Instagram, talk to us on the Finessed Media Instagram or whatever. But we love you, and we're so grateful for your presence. Ali, I am so grateful for your presence. I think the rest of the community is. Ali, do you want to say any last words before we head off?
I'm really grateful for today, and I'm really grateful for all of you guys. Thank you for showing up.
Awesome. All right. Well, have a great weekend, everybody. We will see you in 2 weeks. Enjoy, y'all. Bye.